Relationships, aren't they just the best? Two people, different worlds coming together as one, and the ultimate goal to spend the rest of their lives together. Just amazing. Oh yeah, isn't it amazing to have a partner that's on your back 24/7, won't let you have your autonomy, isolates you from your friends and family, and projects their insecurities on you? No man, that's just toxic. What is up, everybody? I'm Keontae. Welcome to my channel. And today we're going to talk about 5 toxic relationships that you might not want to be in. Hopefully you get some insight in this video so that in the future you wouldn't have to look in hindsight. Anyways, let's get started. So imagine you and your partner just chilling out on the couch, having a great time. Then you suddenly get a text on your phone saying, yo, you trying to hang out? It's from your group chat, and you haven't been with them in a while. Might as well. But then your partner looks over and presses you.
Who are they? Why are you hanging out with your friends? You can't hang out with your friends. I don't want you to. It makes me feel uncomfortable. No, you're not allowed to.
You might have found yourself in a controlling relationship. See, controlling relationships rely on one thing: power. One person feels like they have more power than the other in a relationship, and that creates an imbalance. The person being controlled might feel helpless, powerless, because they don't want to get in trouble if they do one thing. They might sacrifice their needs in order to make the other person feel happy. Person left controlled might feel powerless, drained emotionally, but can't get out of a relationship because they are scared of what could happen. They might be so used to being controlled. Being not controlled doesn't feel right. Controlling relationships can really strip a person's sense of identity. If you're going so long doing what somebody else says out of fear of what would happen to you, you might just lose yourself in the process. And trust me, that's not a good feeling. And it might feel like every single move you make is just a problem. In worst cases, controlling relationships can even go by how you dress, what time you go out, who you go out with, what food you're gonna eat. If they don't like the food that you eat, they get pretty upset for some reason. It might leave a person feeling like they're walking on eggshells. You wouldn't want to be in a relationship that makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells. If a controlling person is left unchecked, it will get worse. And it's gonna be harder to get out of. The manipulative relationships kind of coincide with controlling relationships in the sense that you have to, in a way, manipulate somebody to control them, right? Unless it's just straight fear. But manipulative relationships uses a tactic I like to call, or everybody likes to call rather, gaslighting. See, gaslighting is bad because it can make you, warp your own reality and feel like maybe something happened that necessarily didn't happen, or vice versa, as you guys saw in that example. Now, gaslighting relationships or manipulative relationships can drain a person mentally, ruin their confidence, and make them not have that much faith in themselves because they're getting manipulated thinking, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I did do something wrong. Maybe I'm just a klutz. When in reality, it's really the person who's gaslighting, who's manipulating the situation to make their partner feel that way. To the controller, I'm guessing that's some type of way to keep power and to, control the narrative so that they look like they're the ones being hindered, when in reality, it's them hindering the other person. The manipulator in a manipulative relationship might just gaslight a person into thinking that it's their fault for being so sensitive if the manipulative person says something that hurts the person's feelings. For instance,
You're a weak idiot.
that kind of hurt my feelings, man. You don't really have to say that to me, right?
Hurt your feelings. You're just weak.
Maybe I am just weak. Guess I'll just toughen up and take the abuse. All right. That if a person comes to a person and actively says, yo, that's hurting my feelings, and another person says, yo, you're just being so sensitive, that might sway somebody's opinion, and then they might be thinking, maybe I am sensitive. In reality, they just got manipulated. In extreme cases, the manipulator might threaten to hurt themselves or off themselves, or any of that nature. You guys know what I'm talking about. In that case, it might make the person being manipulated a little bit more, I guess, sensitive to the topic, because obviously they don't want anything to happen to the person they love. But I'm here to say that if you have to be manipulated to be in a relationship, you probably don't want to be in that relationship at all. Narcissistic relationships. We've all heard of them. We've all thrown around the word narcissist. Now, a narcissistic relationship kind of feels like you're in a relationship with a person that, I guess, feels like they're the main character of the story at all times. Everything happens to them. Everything should be for them. They're the center of attention. If they don't get attention, they get upset. In the beginning stages of a narcissistic relationship, the narcissist might not even show his tendencies because, of course, they're trying to win you over. But over time, you're gonna eventually see, like, wait a second, a subtle crack. This person, this dude, this girl, they kind of make everything about them, huh? And that's kind of where it starts. In the narcissistic relationship, the narcissist might not even know that they're being narcissistic. And I guess that's a common trait of a narcissist as well. They'll have a tendency to belittle people and thinking that they're coming up and being big. They'll feel a sense of entitlement to things. I should have this because I'm so awesome. Or I should have this because if I don't, it'll affect me, regardless of how it'll affect my partner. The dynamic between a narcissist and their partner is typically a all take, zero give, if maybe a little bit to keep the, I guess, persona. That's not cool because that creates an imbalance. The effects of a narcissist relationship might just be that, hey, the partner's gonna feel emotionally drained. They might feel neglected because the narcissist doesn't, I guess, take their problems into consideration because they're always about them. Their problem is their problem, regardless of what the other person has going on. A victim of a narcissistic relationship might also feel like they need the narcissist's approval. The narcissist has really got it into their head. It's all about them. It's all about them. So whenever they finally say something like, you know what, you're doing great today, the guy's like, or the person's like, oh my God, I did it. Thank you. Which isn't a healthy dynamic. So let's not even worry about that, okay? The codependent relationships. This might get a little confusing because some might say it's not bad, others might say it's not good, but as they all say, too much of something is a bad thing. Now, a codependent relationship is basically when a person and another person, they come together and they need each other just a little too much for emotional support. It takes the whole I can't live without you phrase and like bumps it up to a max. The person in a codependent relationship, or the people in a codependent relationship, they shun out their hobbies and everything. They shun out the whole world because they're so locked in on each other. And that sounds great in the beginning, in the honeymoon phase, but we all know as the honeymoon phase fades, you know, that's where reality starts kicking in. A healthy relationship, each person needs their own hobbies, their own time apart, their own lives to live, because in reality a relationship is supposed to be two people coming together to make like some type of one world, you know, one full person, one whole person, to come together to make one whole world, or combine their worlds to make a new, not one half person coming together to be whole. Because if you rely on somebody to be your happiness, you might get disappointed in the end. A codependent relationship typically has a person that's the caregiver or the giver, and the other person is more of the person that kind of mooches off the other person because they can't really stand their own 2 feet. But that's the key thing of a codependent relationship. The codependent relationship often has the other person, the person who takes, I guess, or the person who's getting taken care of, they rely too much on the caregiver. The caregiver is in their own fault too, because they enable it. They're like, okay, I'll handle the problems. I'll toss away my life to tend to this person. And the person who's getting tended to doesn't know how to walk on their own 2 feet. Some effects of a codependent relationship could be the relationship feels like it's on eggshells every time you guys are apart. Hey babe, I gotta go to Walmart. Now let me come with you. Maybe I can go by myself this time. Do you not love me? It's stuff like that. That was a weird skit, but I'm gonna keep it in the video because why the hell not? Codependent relationships, like I said, they're not bad if it's in a good way. What I'm gonna say is that if you need somebody to be your happiness, then you might have to reevaluate, because happiness should come from things that you love. Go outside, go hang out with friends, have your own life, have something to tell your partner about when you come back home, because always being together 24/7, Eventually, you're not even gonna know yourself. And one other thing, if you think about it, if you're with your partner 24/7, how would you be able to grow? How would you guys ever be able to get shared knowledge and grow each other's, I guess, mindset? You guys know everything about each other, so it's no mystery of what happens in their day, or what funny thing happened, or that you see anything, that something make you smile, because you already know. That'll create a boring relationship in a way, unless you guys like that. It's all subjective, but hey, it ain't for me. And of course, the abusive relationship. Everybody hears about abusive relationships. I mean, it's on the news like all the time. But abusive relationship can go deeper than just physical. It uses fear in order to get what they want, kind of like the controlling, except controlling doesn't necessarily have to be violent. Abusive is violent in nature. They'll use threats, they'll use actions, maybe promises, but it's not just physical again. Abuse can come in physical, emotional, mental, sexual, and I'm sure there's other abuses, but that's all I can remember. People who are in abusive relationships are constantly victims of false apologies. So the abuser will be like, "Hey, I'm sorry I hit you. I'll never do it again. I'm so sorry." Your heart gets all warmed up. "Oh man, you won't hit me ever again." Oh, cool. And then like one day later they get hit, and it's like a cycle. It's a cycle that in turn can leave somebody feeling drained mentally, emotionally exhausted. The emotional up and down of being happy then sad, it's sad. And in a way, the people who are being abused are brainwashed. Not all of them, but a vast majority, or maybe a whole lot of people, because I truly don't know the statistic. I'm only just a human making a video. But I know a lot of people in abusive relationships defend the person that abuses them. It's not as easy as it looks. It's easier said than done just to say, "All right, I'm out." The abusers are scared that something could happen. Maybe that's the only choice they have, is to stay at the moment. And maybe on the outside looking in, it doesn't look that way, but on the inside looking out, you could feel trapped, like the walls all around you. And if this abusive behavior just goes left unchecked, it's going to enable the abuser to just think, "Yo, I can keep on doing this. I'm the dude, or I'm the woman, and they ain't gonna get anything that they want." That's not a way to go about life. I know Valentine's Day is like around the corner. So, hey, if you're having a Valentine and you're catching these signs, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But I'm just letting you guys know that, hey, these are some signs of some toxic relationships. Now, a good way to get out of these toxic relationships, or at the very least, prevent, is to recognize these signs early. A lot of these signs pop up earlier than we think, and we miss it. And by the time we catch it, we're like freaking 2 years up into this thing, and it's a little harder to get out of it because of all the baggage and emotions you guys made together and stuff like that. But recognize the signs early and place boundaries, because if you don't do that, in the future, what is the limit, right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. If you made it to the end, hi, how you doing? These were 5 relationships that are toxic that you might not want to be in. I got 5 more in the works, so stay tuned, because you might find that those might hit you a little bit more as well. Anyways, again, set boundaries, be happy, don't get controlled, don't get manipulated, watch out for narcissists, do not be abused, and yeah, like, subscribe. There will be more. Cool. You can go now.